Hi, Bill Pfeiffer again. So good to be with you. Buenos dias, buongiorno, dzień dobry, the Polish say. Happy day. Yesterday was the 4th of July. We celebrated freedom with an absolutely marvelous display of fireworks last night. It was just absolutely spectacular, and it was just so good. And these days are about freedom, aren't they? The 4th of July. It's about our freedom, a difficult, hard-won freedom by founding fathers who were willing to put their lives on the line for that freedom. The scriptures tell us that if you want to be free, you shall know the truth, and the truth will set you free. Nothing less will do, and we keep trying to substitute everything and anything for the truth in our culture right now, our dying culture, and continue to want to get the results, freedom, and you just can't do that, can you? You have to have the truth, the ultimate truth, and that's what makes you a free person. And as people, as individuals, we always have to follow our conscience in order to be able to acquire that kind of peace of heart and mind and soul. It's a certain conscience that must be followed. I have an absolutely marvelous book that I used in the seminary and afterwards many times by Joné Adelman. It's a kind of a compendium of moral theology, fundamental moral theology. I was first in my class in this, so I really enjoyed doing fundamental moral theology. And the conscience that must be followed according to all of the moral theologians is a certain conscience. If you have a really deep, doubtful conscience, that doubt must be solved before you're able to act in a way which is not sinful. And so, conscience is something that is sacred, that is special. The ultimate arbiter of right and wrong is a certain truthful, well-formed conscience. And I was just reminded 2 seconds ago that you don't have the time to be able to discover all of the things that are involved in morality, just as you don't have the time to discover all of the things involved in technology or science or history. And so we have people who give their lives to those particular subjects to help us become informed. You'd have to have 8 or 10 or 12 lifetimes to be well informed in all of these subjects, and you don't have that amount of time. And that's part of the reason you need a church, part of the reason you need moral theologians. Regular theologians, everybody thinks they're a theologian. Everybody thinks they're a moral theologian. Everybody thinks, that, but nobody thinks that they're a quantum physicist, do they? They give that to the quantum physicists, or no one feels they're an expert on the Civil War unless you're talking to someone that's an expert on the Civil War. But in theology, everybody's a theologian. Everybody's a moral theology expert. And that's just not true. And there's some people who are better than others, and you have to go to them to be able to understand what it is that you're dealing with. But we don't do that, do we? So it's conscience it's a really important thing in our culture, and it just isn't something that is very highly prized, just like the truth. We're probably going to be the first civilization to outlaw the lie. I mean, the lie just doesn't exist in our culture anymore since we began with political correctness for decades, and now no one knows what's the truth and what isn't the truth, and that's a terrible situation for someone to be in. Today, during my prayer, and for the last month, I've been reading the Beatitudes over and over. It's not just the Ten Commandments. That was the Old Testament. The New Testament, Jesus' new, fresh, wild teaching is contained in the New Commandments, if you will, the 8 Beatitudes. And I just love the one. I've been reading it because of the 4th of July. Blessed are the peacemakers, for they shall be called sons and daughters of God. You notice it says peacemakers, not peace lovers. Everybody loves peace, but not everybody is willing to pay the cost of acquiring that peace or helping others to acquire that peace. It's not just a matter of being a peace lover, but a peacemaker. Remember, we've talked about peace before as being the tranquility of right order. In our culture, everybody thinks that the way to acquire peace is by upsetting the right order. And somehow or other, out of all of that confusion and upset, will arise this, inevitable peace that will crown the culture, and everybody will be happy and forever and ever. Amen. And that just isn't the case. Peace is the tranquility of right order. When you go around trying to upset right order, you can't ultimately expect peace to be the result of that action. So today, the 4th of July, we're celebrating it today, and yesterday it's because it was on a Sunday. Be peacemakers, be people who are interested in peace. Nice little story to end. Once upon a time, there was a piece of iron which was very strong. One after another, the axe, the saw, the hammer, and the flame tried to break it. "I'll master it," said the axe. Its blows fell heavily on the iron, but every blow made its edge more blunt until it ceased to strike. "Leave it to me," said the saw, and it worked backward and forward on the iron surface until its jagged teeth were all worn and broken. Then it fell aside. "Ah," said the hammer, "I knew you wouldn't succeed. I'll show you the way." But at the first fierce blow, off flew its head, and the iron remained as before. "Shall I try?" asked the small, soft flame. "Forget it," all replied. "What can you do?" But the flame curled around the iron, embraced it, and never left the iron until it melted under the flame's irresistible influence. Stop hammering. Stop sawing. Stop using the axe. Let love itself hold you and transform you. And on this special weekend, it's free. This love is free. What do? Do you pound? Do you beat? Do you try to use the saw? Or are you a steady, loving, embracing flame that melts completely through? Love, finely applied, can melt glass. And that's really the truth. So, what happens when you show up? Are you a source of peace and joy and love for the people in your life? Or are you a source of pain for the people in your life? When you show up, what do people say? Oh, Jesus, she's here, he's here. Or, thank God he's here. Thank God she's here. She will always give us bright light. She will always help us to feel loved. Will always help us to feel and understand that love. So happiness tomorrow continues to be the result of doing the truth today. We have to do that. It is the truth that ultimately frees. God bless. Have a really nice day.